My wife was speaking at the conference for Tracy, and right when my wife went to speak, I was on daddy duty. My daughter had an upset stomach, and all of a sudden, she just began to throw up on me. And I just sat there froze. I said, this is the worst time for this to happen. And then, Lady Chisholm sees me, and she comes over to try to help me out, and the baby throws up on me again. Then does it again. I'm like, covered. I just take the shirt and throw it in the trash. Your mother got on me because she said, well, we could have washed that shirt. I didn't even want to have nothing to do with it was that bad. But the enemy will try to distract you from receiving what you need to receive. The enemy will try to distract you from being where you need to be. The enemy will try to distract you from accomplishing the purposes and plans of God for your life. But I decree in Jesus Christ's name, there should be no distractions today. In the name of Jesus. Hallelujah. And so I'm going to jump straight into the Word of God. Sometimes when people read the bio, it's kind of funny. She said magnificent miracles, but I believe that you're the greatest miracle here today. Because many have come out of bad situations, bad circumstances. The enemy has tried to take your life, but you're still here today. And I always get teased about the weight loss miracles. When people read that, they always laugh and they always say, I want that miracle. But we actually have seen that. People lose 20, 30, 35, 40 pounds right in front of our face instantaneously. We've seen that in our meetings. So God can do anything. The only thing those miracles just never work for me. Because when God gives you a gift, it's for the body. I wish it would work for me because I would use it once a week. Hallelujah. Let's go to the book of Daniel. Daniel chapter 1. You Bible scholars will know where to find it. Those that are novices, it's okay. It's in the middle of your Bible. I was doing marriage counseling once, and I told them to turn to the book of Genesis because I wanted to talk about Adam and Eve. To counsel them about Adam and Eve and give biblical example and biblical foundation. And God bless the husband, he wasn't into church, and so he said, is that the Genesis in the Old Testament or the New Testament? And I said, bless his heart. I said, brother, it's the Old Testament. But we're going to Daniel chapter 1. When you have it, you can stand for the reading of the Word of God. I know you guys send the videography up. I may move around. Hallelujah. Amen. Daniel chapter 1, verse 3. When you get it, say hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Okay, that's some Holy Ghost hallelujah. That's what I'm talking about. And the king spoke into Ashpenaz, the master of his eunuchs, that he should bring certain of the children of Israel and of the king's seed and the princes, children of whom there was no blemish, but well favored, skillful in all wisdom, cunning in knowledge, that it could understand science, and had the ability to stand in the king's palace, that they might teach them the learning and tongue of the Chaldeans, the Babylonians. And the king appointed them a daily provision of the king's meat, and wine to drink, and nourished them 3 years, that they might stand before the king. And these were the children of Judah: Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. And it goes on and said they changed their name to Belshazzar, and Hananiah to Shadrach, and Mishael to Meshach, and Azariah to Abednego, sorry. But Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with a portion of the king's meat, nor with the wine which they drank. Amen. Bless God for the reading word. You can be seated. Amen. I want to share with you today about the power of destiny. But that's not actually the message. That's the end point. I'm going to give you the meat of the message in a moment. But here you have 3 young men, and they're in Babylon, but they're Jewish. They're Hebrew boys. And they're actually coming out of almost what looks like slavery. And the king is looking at them to promote them and put them in a position of authority. I want to take the first thing. Your past does not dictate your future. because they were in a position where they were robbed of their culture, they were robbed of their homeland, they were considered second-class citizens, and they didn't really have control over their future except they gave themselves to God. And many times people's past, they will allow it to play too much into their now and into their future. Whether they do it intentionally or unintentionally, whether they do it consciously or subconsciously. You know, you'll see people, well, my daddy wasn't nothing. Like, I had a friend. We was driving in the car years ago. This was before I was, to the Holy Ghost fully. And I remember he told me, he said, my daddy sold drugs, my uncle sold drugs, my brother sold drugs, my cousin sold drugs, my mother sold drugs. What do you expect for me to do? See, somehow the enemy had convinced him, because of his past and because of his family, that he had to take a certain route. And here, because they were slaves and robbed of their culture and their heritage and robbed of their geography, they could have said that we're just going to stay in a poor place. But there was something about these young people, something about these people, that the king saw greatness on them in spite of their past. I decree greatness over you in spite of anything of the past. In spite of any broken relationships, any divorces, any molestations, any dads that was in prison that wasn't around, any mothers that didn't do right. I decree that your future is different in Jesus Christ's name. Amen. But it goes on and said that these guys didn't have a blemish. That means they looked real good. They was well fit. They was good looking guys. They was styling and profiling. And it goes on to tell how smart they were. And they knew the sciences. They could speak very articulate. They understood the language. They had language skills and ability. But I want to tell you what really brought them into the place of promotion. I want to share with you why God really elevated them into a place of destiny, because if you study them, you'll find out that they actually began to run the kingdom of Babylon. That Daniel was promoted to the number 2 position in the land. He was like vice president. And the other 3 guys were great governors that had great power, great honor, great riches, great influence, that God elevated them to positions of authority. It was not based only on their good looks. Because there's a lot of good-looking people that suffer. There's a lot of good-looking people in the dumps. There's a lot of good-looking people in cycles of demonic activity. There's a lot of good-looking people that's depressed and unhappy. There's a lot of good-looking people. They look good on the outside, but on the inside, they trouble. And it wasn't even based on their ability and their education, their academic success. There's a lot of doctorate degree dummies. They have the resume. They have the degrees. But their life is jacked up. Even in ministry, people have 5 doctorate degrees and they don't live holy. You have a doctorate in divinity, but you don't live holy, so there's no divinity. People with master degrees that master nothing. I told one person, I said, you have a master's in finance, you don't have any money. What have you mastered? Nothing. And it's good to look good. It's good to have the right presentation. It's good to take care of yourself. It's good to be well dressed. It's good to be articulate and speak well. It's good to have degrees and education. Those things, I encourage you to get all of those things, because it gave them advantage. It gave them a certain level of recognition. But what really elevated them came down to one thing. When it came time for them to eat of the king's meat and drink from the king's table, because in their culture, there's certain meats they couldn't eat. In their kosher diet, there's certain things they couldn't drink. They made one word decision. They made a decision to live for God. In spite of their looks, in spite of their degrees, in spite of their ability and their articulation, It really came down to if God was going to elevate them and promote them. Because I'm sure there's a lot of good-looking people in Babylon. I'm sure there's a lot of educated people in Babylon. I'm sure there's a lot of articulate people in Babylon. But what set them apart is they made a decision for Christ when it mattered. And also they tried to change their identity. Because see, it said they gave them a name change. They tried to name them after their God. See, what will happen in life, people in life will try to put on you an identity that God didn't put on you. People will try to, based on, even growing up, sometimes people, they're going to be this, or they're going to be that, or they're going to do this, or they're going to do that. I know one friend, he's a bishop, he told me, he said, I thought my mantle passed to my daughter, and God had to deal with me that she wasn't even called to ministry. So she had to escape and get away out of town to get from under that. See, our identity is in God. Amen. See, even though the Babylonians changed their identity back on paper, in their hearts they didn't allow it to change their identity. See, when things happen to you, it can change your identity. When you're in environments, just because you live in the ghetto don't mean you are ghetto. Just because you're in the hood don't mean that you have to be hood. Just because you went through abuse don't mean you're a victim. See, it's your mentality, your identity. Are you a victim or are you an overcomer? Because we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. See, you can choose to be a victim. It's like some people that are disabled, they go ahead and get their little check and they stay disabled. Other people say, look, I'm not disabled. I'm challenged, but I'm not disabled. I'm going to give me a job at Walmart. See, it's all about perspective. And especially I see young people here. Peer pressure in an environment will try to come and change your identity. See, when I was reading the Bible and praying and studying commentaries, that was good, but I was doing it alone in my house. When I came outside, the people in my neighborhood wasn't reading the Bible. They wasn't praying to God. They hadn't had Jesus come in the room and visit them. The guys, that I started hanging with in town, they was doing cocaine. They was selling crack. They was selling weed. They was selling coke. They was snorting heroin. They was robbing people. They was kicking in people's doors, waving in the 4-4. They was doing all types of stuff. Some of them kill people. Y'all laughing. A few of them kill people. My wife can tell you, when I go home and meet people I know, I just got out from doing 14 years. I just got out for this. I can tell you some stories. And I remember one of them said to me, "It's something different about you." And one of them said to me, "You can't even do some of the stuff we do. If you do, I'll beat you up." Because there's something different about you. I won't even allow you to do certain stuff because God's going to do something different with you. Life is going to do something different. See, people know, even when you're with them, that it's something different. And years later, one of the guys that I thought was like one of the coolest guys, he came back. He said, "I always wished I was you." He said, "Because you went to school, you did this and that, you and your mother had it." And he told me all the reasons that he looked up to me, and I never knew that. Some of the people that you look up to, they look up to you. Some of the people you're looking up to see your potential. And all of them, if you stay with God and make a decision for Christ, all of them will have to come back to you one day, I'm telling you. Because when you see what will happen, when you make a decision for Christ and you come public, people are going to test you. They're going to test to see if you're really real, because really what they're trying to find out, if somebody else can live this thing, then maybe I can live it. And so they want to see if the word that you're confessing and the Christ you're confessing enough to keep you, because if it can keep you, then there's a chance it can keep them. And so sometimes when they're testing you, it's not necessarily want to see you fall. They want to see you pass because it proves to them that God must be real. I remember Apostle Warren Singleton said he was on television in Connecticut, and he was sharing his testimony on his TV show back in the, I don't know, he's really old, back in the 40s or something. And so, I'm sorry. No, it's good. It's good. I love him. He's an old friend. He's really old. That's on video. Make sure you see it. And he said, a guy called into the TV station and said, God must be real because I know this guy. And if he's saying God real, I used to direct the bars for him, then God must be real if he can save him. You know, watch, this is for the younger woman that's single. Maybe for some of this part. But there's men, when you say that you're living for God and you're going to be celibate and you read the word, that is a challenge to them. You become a target and they want to see if they can conquer you. I'm not telling you something I made up. I'm telling you stuff I've heard out of people's mouths. I remember this one Bible said, I go to this one church because that's where all the women at. And he said he heard it too. So I want to give you 5 things today. I'm talking about the power of destiny. But it comes down to the simplicity of decisions. See, when you think of destiny, we become overwhelmed at this end where God's trying to get us to the end of it. God wants to make me a billionaire. God wants me to own 20 houses. God wants to put me in ministry. God wants to take me around the world. God wants me to own businesses. Whatever your destiny is, great. And we become overwhelmed by it when really it's the simplicity of decisions. The first decision that we have to make for the Christ is the same that these boys made. It said they purposed in their hearts they would not defile themselves. The first one is you must purpose in your heart you will not defile yourself with the world. You will not defile yourself with fornication and sexual sins. You won't defile yourself with hard liquor. 100 proof, 200 proof, corn liquor, gut rot liquor, whatever. You won't defile yourself. She said, I don't even know that stuff. See, that ain't stuff you get in the store. That's stuff you get in the bootlegger house. I grew up in the bootlegger house. When I was a kid, my granddad was a bootlegger, so we was in the bootlegger house. That's how I know this stuff. Go get you a bottle of Naughty Head. You don't even know what that is. Y'all young people don't know what it is. Y'all just know some rock. That's all y'all got. But you want to find yourself. I remember I was young and I was seeking God, and the Lord was dealing with me because I had all of this hardcore rap music. I had a heart of hardcore rap music. Where I came from, it was just guns and all that. That's just where back then. So anyway, I had this music, and I just couldn't get rid of it because the thing was, I felt like the church music was just boring for me. I'm being honest. You got the rap music, it's nice outside, you roll the windows down, the music bumping, the church music just kind of slow and, put me to sleep. And so I'm like, God, you have to help me. Because on a nice day, I don't want to ride with the church music. I'm being honest with you. You got to be real with people. I was like 22 years old. And so what happened, I went to a Christmas party for my job. And when I came back, somebody had broken my car in Portsmouth. Oh, go check this up. Make sure my truck locked out there now. My job had a Christmas party at the Renaissance Hotel. When I came back, I had all my Christmas gifts in the trunk. They stole all my Christmas gifts. I had a new pair of Timberland boots. They stole my Timberland boots. Took my change out the corn tray. Stole my CD player. And I had about 80 CDs in the car. They stole all my CDs. And they left with 2 CDs. Hezekiah Walker and Donnie McClurkin. But the earlier that I didn't have the power to make a decision. See, I made a decision in my heart, but I didn't have the power to carry it out. God helped me. See, I lost my Christmas gift, but God got rid of the music. And when I saw those 2 CDs, I just threw my hands and said, just praise the Lord, it's God. So God even used the car robber, the auto theft, to bring me into a place of destiny because those gifts can be replaced. Those Timberlands can be replaced. Now, they won't join me with Timberlands, that's different. The chains could be replaced. But God was trying to get me to a place. And so sometimes if you don't have the strength, God will help you to get to that place. See, if you don't know when the Holy Spirit moving you, He'll help you, but it may be a loss attached to it. But don't get attached to the loss. Because what God's going to add to you is going to be greater than what you lose right now. The first decision is for Christ is that we don't defile ourselves. Amen. Then the second thing here, for all of us, we have to make the decision. Well, let me tell you the scripture. 1 John chapter 1 says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, the Word was with God, and all things came through the Word. He made all things, goes on and on. And it says, He came to His own, and His own received Him not. But as many as received Him, He gave power, ability to become sons of God. So I told the church, I said, just because you saved don't mean biblically you're a son of God. I know we said about a son of God and a child of God. You know, a child is one thing, but a son means inheritance. And it's not just for men, it's for women too. A daughter and a son. It says here that these people already received Him. They didn't become a son or daughter. They received ability, power. Romans 8:14 says, as many that are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. It didn't say just because you were saved and baptized. See, when you begin to be led by the Spirit of God, you really find out your sonship or your daughtership. Because what happens when you're led by God, it shows Him on your end that you trust Him as a father. But then on His end, He begins to prove to you through providing for you, through answering your prayers, through saving you from loss, through saving you from heartache. He begins to prove to you your childhood with Him. He begins to father you. So the second decision that we must make is to be led by the Spirit of God. Doing church is not enough. Watching all the Christian broadcasts is not enough. Talking to people on the phone, praying with them is not enough. See, I know people that fast and pray, but when God speaks to them, they don't obey. Okay, I like that one. That's okay. Fast, pray, innovate. See, I'm going to do a 40-day fast. Well, that's great, but if it don't change you and you're not obedient, you just was hungry for 40 days. See, a fast brings you to the place that when God speaks to you, you're yielded enough to be obedient. The fast isn't going to change God one bit. It's designed to change you. So now when He speaks and tells you what you wouldn't do before the fast, then now you'll be willing to do it. So the second thing is to follow the leadership of the Holy Spirit. That's a decision we must make day in and day out. I'm going to tell you two quick stories. So the first story is I was 20, 21, I was living with my aunt, I was going to college, and I said, God, I'm almost finished with school. I want to move out of my aunt's house and get my own place. I don't want to rent, I want to buy my own house. I don't even know why I decided. I just decided to have my own place. I didn't want to rent, I wanted to get a house. I wanted to build some equity. I wanted to have more space. A lot of people don't own a house at 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 years old. And so I went into prayer and I began to pray and said, Lord, I'm about to finish school. I'm going to move out of my aunt's house. It's been a blessing, but I'm older. You know, when you get older, you need your own. When you're grown, you need your own. I was about to say something. You 35, 40 years old, you meet a man, he living with his mother. Okay, let me just keep going. You better pray on that one. I'm not living with my mother, I'm sorry. You couldn't pay me. Love her own space. And so I'm praying, and I said, God, I would like a house, but also I need something to help me out with this car because I'm upside down on the car loan. And the car's going out, the catalytic converter, the muffler, the oxygen sensors are going bad. I would like to go get a new car. So I'm praying, and I heard the Lord speak to me and said, take $1,000 and sow it to this ministry. And I said, that can't be God. I bind it up in Jesus Christ. The Lord would never tell me that. So I went back into prayer. I said, Lord, the enemy just tried to deceive me by telling me to sow $1,000 to a ministry. You look like your daddy too. Don't reach out the strength. You do too, but she did. I said, the enemy's trying to see me. I said, Lord, I'm praying for this house, this car, and I heard again, sow $1,000 to this ministry. And I said, well, Lord, maybe you didn't understand my prayer. I'm asking you for money. I didn't ask you where to sow to. I have a church, I give tithes, and I sow seed. I'm asking you for money, not about giving money. And it comes to me again. I said, well, Lord, I don't have $1,000. So maybe you're not here. Maybe you're missing it. Because I can't be missing it. I mean, I've been praying and reading. There's no way I can be. It has to be God missing it. You know how we do. God don't know what He's doing. Yeah. And all of a sudden it hit me, borrow the money from your bank. And I said, well, I don't have credit because I'm young. I never had a credit card. I never had a loan. But I went online, I borrowed the money, I got approved in 20 minutes, $1,500. I took $1,000, sold it out to this ministry, and I took out $500 and went shopping. I mean, I'm 21, you gotta do what you gotta do. The next month, I was employee of the month. I worked for a company called Household Finance. Anybody have a mortgage loan with them? If so, I need to pray for you because you have some bondage. Those high interest rates. Okay. I was with Household Finance, and another company brought them HSBC banking. So what took place, I was employed a month, the next month I got an extra $5,000. Now, I'm claiming 30, 60, 100 fold. Bible says you sow, you get 30, 60, 100 fold. And I mean, you know, I'm young, so I think that I'm taking that's little. This is my first $1,000 seed. Biggest I had sown before is $300. And so, you know, I'm running to the mailbox every day. My aunt's saying, ain't no money coming for you. Why you keep looking for the mail twice a day? Ain't none coming. This and that. I said, no, 30, 60, 100 before I sold my seed. Next month, I was employed a month. I got $5,000. 2 months later, I was employed a month. I got another $5,000. I was employed a year for my site in Chesapeake, 1421 Christina Way, Chesapeake, Virginia, 23320 household. They gave me a check for $10,000 to buy a new vehicle. I was also the top employee for Chesapeake, Newcastle, Delaware, and Schaumburg, Illinois. They gave me a check for $50,000. $50,000. All of this happened within 6 months. I had the money to get the car. I had the money to get the house. I had the money to pay all stuff for school. But it was following the leading of God. So we try to work something up. A brother was telling me, finances tight, apostle. Finances, this and that, apostle. I don't think I'm getting a second job. I said, well, you can work all them hours and be away from your wife, be away from your kids, tire yourself out, or you can trust God. I said, have you been sowing? Have you been doing the principles of the word? No, apostle, Because see, when things get tight, the first thing we begin to do is draw back. And we begin to try to figure out a way. And the way we figure out most of the time doesn't work. But God wants us to rest in Him. And when He tells us to do something, He can do more for you in 3 days than you can do in 3 weeks. He can do more in 3 weeks than you can do in 3 months. He can do more in 3 months than you can do in 3 years. If you follow the leading of God and make a decision that even if it seems crazy, God is your Father and He has your best interest at hand. And you're not limited by your age. God can tell some of the young people to do something and God set them up for the rest of their school year, for their scholarships or anything. See, anybody, the kingdom of God, He says, come like a little children. See, even a child, if the Holy Spirit speaks to them and they obey, God can give them a reward. It's not based on your degree. It's not based on your age. It's not based on this or that. It's based on your obedience. So we're all at a level playing ground. In Jesus' name. The second one, I was at work one day, and I was on MySpace. Who knows who that is? Yeah, that was years ago. That was in the 70s. I think I had an afro in on MySpace. And this guy invited me to a Bible study. And I said, Lord, why is he inviting me to this Bible Bible study. I already have a church. I have churches I go to. I don't want to go. So about 2 hours later, somebody else invites me to the same Bible study. And I said, God, I wish these people stop inviting me to this Bible study. I'm telling you how I talk to God. I mean, you got to be real. You talk like that, just I'm saying it publicly. And the Lord said, go to the Bible study. I said, I'm going to go, but I don't want to go. I just want to let you know. I want to let you know, God. I'm going to go, but I don't want to go. Don't feel like going. Did that work? I got my prayer life, got my word life, got my church home, got my prophets, got my own apostle. I'm good, but I'm going to go. But I don't want to go. So I'm sitting there like, God, why do you have me here? I'm just sitting there, just quiet. Why do you have me here in this Bible? And so at the end, I tell one of the leaders of the Bible study, I said, God spoke to me about every person in the room. That one's going to do this, that one's going to do this, that one's a singer. These 3 won't be with the Bible study. They're going to disappear. And I said, and then young lady right there, the Lord says her husband is in the room. And I said, well, we said, well, who is it? Maybe it's that guy. Or maybe it's that guy. Maybe it's him. No, let's go back to that guy. We said, we don't know. We're going to pray and the Lord shows us. And so about 3 months later, I'm driving on Hampton Boulevard in Norfolk. The Lord spoke to me and said, that young lady's your wife. And so we've been married 5.5 years. But he didn't tell me I was the husband in the room. But see, God didn't tell me go to the Bible study because your wife's there. See, sometimes we try to work something out. Let me go and preach the mingle. I know, okay. I'll go there in a minute. Sometimes you might belong to a church and there's no prospects. You can feel like, well, let me go to the church where the brothers at. Let me go to the church where the sisters at. Let me go somewhere where I can get the hookup. See, somebody said, I know that's right. You drive into your church and you look out the window and see another church and you say, this is a nice looking woman. Guys going to church, you're like, maybe this ain't the church. Maybe I need to change ministries. But see, sometimes the small things connect you to big blessings. See, we think the big acts of obedience. Lord says do 21 days of fasting and prayer. See, we think that's always going to get us the big stuff. Sometimes God wants to see if we trust Him in the small, insignificant things that can lead to. Now, what if I didn't go to that Bible study? God could have brought her around, but we could have wasted time as well. God doesn't want you wasting time. God doesn't want you involved with the wrong people. God doesn't want you suffering unnecessary heartbreak. Some people have got up with the wrong people and it's taken them years and decades to get over it. But if you follow the Holy Spirit, He knows what you have need of. He knows when you have need of it. And He knows how to make it happen at the right time, at the right price, with the right people. In Jesus' name. Hallelujah. So the second thing to make a decision in is following the leading of the Lord. The next one. This one sometimes is a little tricky. When people do stuff to us, when people harm us, when people hurt us, that our hearts become wounded. Resentment, forgiveness, bitterness comes in. Proverbs chapter 4:23 says, above all else, guard your heart, for out of it flows the issue of life. Your attitude, your heart. Your joy, your heart. Your peace, your heart. Your relationships with people, your heart. Your promotions at work, your heart. Sometimes you have the skill, but people just don't like you, so they don't promote you. They promote people they like a lot of times. They may not even have the skills because at least they smile and say hello. See, you think it's brown noser, well, maybe, but would you have to deal with a brown noser that's a nice person or somebody with a bad attitude? Finances, the heart. See, giving to God isn't so much about the money, it's about the heart. Because if God has your heart and He tells you to give 10 or 1,000 or 10,000, it won't make a difference because He has your heart. And so out of it is going to flow your giving. See, it's only a struggle when he doesn't have your heart. So we have to make the decision to guard our hearts. I was talking to this prophet the other day, and he was telling me about this new job and everything going on in the new job and how they gave him some bad assignments. And I said, hold on, stop. When I first met you, you were telling me about your job years ago. Last year, you were telling me about the job. Years before that, you were telling me about another job. I said, the issue is not the jobs, it's you. Because you're the common denominator. And because you allow stuff to consume you. And because you take this stuff and replay it and always talk about it and always rehearse it, you build momentum and energy to it and keep it in the atmosphere. So no matter what job you go to, you're going to have the same experience. Have you ever noticed people that have problems with people are always the same people that have an issue? They will have problems with people nobody else have a problem with. The issue is not people, the issue is you. But if you guard your heart, sometimes I've had it where, when somebody calls somebody and they say, yeah, Apostle Edmonds, he think he big, he didn't speak to me in the store the other day. Maybe I didn't see you in the food line. Or maybe I saw you and didn't recognize you. We was always talking about, they said, we believe in speaking. Well, speak then. Hello, how you doing? We follow you on Facebook. We believe in speaking. Well, see, you follow me on Facebook. I never seen you in person, so I don't, because you see people in Facebook versus person is different. And then, using a picture from 20 years ago, I'm not going to recognize you. See, people get offended and allow stuff to get in their heart over petty stuff. If it's not going to affect you in the next 3 to 4 years, don't even worry about it. But we must guard our heart, because what happens if you don't guard your heart, it flows into your life. It flows into how you deal with situations. It flows into how you even deal with God. It flows into how you deal with people. It flows into different areas that will affect you and will not be to your benefit. So we must guard our heart, because out of it flows the issues of life. The strong prophets, I remember we went to somebody's house and they told me, they said, my daughter said, yeah, he over here trying to pick up on me. He trying to discern and this and that. She said, he ain't thinking about you. That was the last thing on my mind. Sometimes we have ideas how people are thinking about us. And they may be thinking the total opposite. And we do it a lot of times based on past experiences. Resto basutuku, resto mansoto le mansoto goboshe, rababa sundebe mukumba. The Lord says over this church and over this ministry that I'm breathing new life into it. I'm bringing a newness and a fresh wind. The Lord says that it was I who called this church. It was I who built this church. It was I who laid the foundations. The Lord says I even called this church out of the book of Nehemiah. But the Lord says every nail and every piece of wood that I fashioned it and I formed it, and I even caused the building to look like an ark. For I caused this place to be an ark of safety for those that need refuge, for those young people that are hurting, for those youth that are without leadership, and for those people that have come from broken homes and broken places and broken relationships and broken situations, that this will be an ark of refuge, says the Lord. For the Lord says, even as the leader has had open heart surgery, I'm doing the open heart surgery in this ministry, and I'm causing a new place of prayer. I'm causing a new place of commitment. I'm causing a new place where new waters can flow. And the Lord says, even begin to do things differently. Don't attach to the things of the old, the way it was always done just because it was done that way. But allow me to breathe new life as I bring new creativity, as I bring new ideas, as I bring new worship voices even to the worship team. And new sounds of praise. The Lord says, I'm even changing the face of this ministry and even changing the name of it in the Spirit, says the Lord. For I call it a house and ark of refuge. And I call it a place of safety. And there should even be events held here that were to reach out to the community and reach out to those that are distraught, saith the Lord. And I will begin to show you the blueprint. And I'll begin to show you the strategies. And I'll begin to show you the workshops and things to hold in this place that will cause people that even lived in this community and this city that even never even heard about the ministry or heard about the church to begin to speak. For it should be by my spirit, says the Lord, that even when those have been discouraged, I'm breathing new life. I'm sending new water. But you must reposition yourself to receive, says the Lord, with your hearts, with your minds, with your energy, and with your ability and willingness to work, says God. Hallelujah. Bless you, God. Bless you, God.